Hello, good morning and welcome to Calgary in Canada, the final day of the BMW IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Cup Finals. And we're on the 1988 Winter Olympic track for the last day of sliding before the World Championships. We get into our action this morning with the men's skeleton. Hello everybody, I'm Martin Haven, alongside me John Morgan, ready for the start of what proves to be, I think, perhaps one of the most exciting races of the season, if Friday's encounter is anything to go by.
Well, the track built for the 1988 Winter Olympic Games. It's pretty easy to get down, very difficult to get down fast. We've seen it in bobsled, luge, and skeleton all season. Tretyakov, well, one of the favorites in the competition, the guy leading the World Cup into this final race, the chance to win the big globe. He owns a track record at the start. The start of this track is so important. You can see how flat and slow things are up top. No mistakes allowed. Curve 4 to 5. This little transition causes some problem. And then 6, 7, 8, three-quarter combination, quick right. The crossover here on a 7. This omega curve sets you up for 8. Pivotal part of the track, the exit of 8, long acceleration point down a long straightaway into a big 270-degree whip around this Kreisel where you exit going uphill. Not a good cocktail of going uphill in a gravity sport, making a mistake. Down here, it's still going, 75 miles an hour into the finish. 4 Gs, the heads get forced straight down. Well, Martins Ducars, the legend of the sport, owns the track record from 2013, Martin.
Yeah, that's a long-standing record here. When we get into this afternoon's four-man bobsleigh, the record dates back to the mid-90s, the oldest bobsled or skeleton record on the planet. Well, in our battle for the World Cup Crystal Globe, Alexander Tretyakov, if he finishes in the top 4, no matter what anybody else does, will be, for the second time in his career, a decade on from the first, the World Cup champion. He'll claim the Crystal Globe. But there is a battle for third place with Martins Ducars and Nikita Trengibov just 4 points apart. There is Ducars. Now, he wasn't in the top 3 last year, having won 8 consecutive World Cup titles. And there is a possibility that Trengibov there, if he beats Martins, will make sure that he gets the third place finish. And Martins, for the second year in a row, is not in the top 3. Unlikely as it seems. Alexander Tretyakov had a really good race on Friday afternoon, the make-up race from the missing race in Koenigsegg. He won here. But today, we've got what was initially supposed to be 28, now 27 sliders. Germany's Christopher Grothair has pulled out at the last minute. He's not the only one suffering with coughs, colds, flu, lung infections.
Some of his teammates.
And everything else, yeah. Some of my teammates as well. So 27 sleds from 16 nations, 7 of whom were not in the race on Friday because they weren't originally scheduled to race in Koenigsegg. Final race of the BMW IBSF Skeleton World Cup, and Jisoo Kim of Korea kicks things off. Last time we saw him in the Winter Games in Pyeongchang, he finished a remarkable 6th position. This is only his 6th ever World Cup start. His last was in Innsbruck in December 2017. But the 24-year-old's got 10 races on this track at the very least. He's got to make the cut.
So we started looking at his results for the season. He wasn't there in the results. And then you looked at the Olympic results and we went, wow, he finished 6th at the Olympic Games.
Yeah, we were so bowled over by his teammate Son Min-yoon taking gold. Kind of fell in the shadow a little. Now, the first man down today, it was minus 18 at 7 o'clock this morning. The overnight low, minus 23. So the start area will be slow and very frosty. And the track similar. Possibly it'll speed up a little in the second heat.
Martin, in that Innsbruck event, December 17, he finished 7th.
Yeah.
So he does have talent.
And he has only been to evens twice.
Start time 5:02.
7:37. I'm not sure that it's worth looking at Friday's starts for any kind of idea as to whether that was quick or not. I reckon that we may be around half a second slower in the start area and probably a couple of seconds
like
slower
it was
down
for
the track.
bobsled yesterday morning.
Yeah.
It was sticky.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you know, if you think how cold your freezer is, anything metal in there, your hand sticks to it. Well, this is 10, 12 degrees colder than that. Not a bad-looking run, though, from Kim Ji-soo. And he should be good here. You know, he's had 10 races here, official races here, NAC and ICC.
Yeah. This is a cousin of his home track.
Very much so. Well, home ice for Kevin Boyer and for all the Canadians. And so many of the Canadians are based here in Calgary rather than in Whistler. This track has produced 22 Canadian Olympic medalists in 30 years. Not sure any track, maybe apart from Koenigsegg, has got a record like that. 5:05 for Boyer, the 25-year-old. Finished 10th on Friday night.
It's not bad. You know, he was a little erratic with his descents down the track, but this is a future slider for Canada.
We'll be going to his home track, Whistler, for the World Championships. And a few Canadian bobsledders are calling a halt to their career after Whistler. Neville Wright among them. And we'll see perhaps a couple of other skeleton sliders deciding that that is the final race for them. Let's see what Boyer's got. He's behind Kim at the moment by 1600ths, 1700ths, just slipping away fractionally. So the Korean might be having a pretty good day already.
Wow, 1400's back. Boyer's best finish of the year. He's had 10th place in Samoritz, and he had 10th place in Calgary the other night.
Yeah.
So definitely going to make the field. It's a large field. 8 sleds are going to get cut for the second run. Martin, there's a little positioning here now to get yourself a good feel for the World Championships.
7 sleds now that Christopher Grotehair's got. So that's a get-out-of-jail-free card for somebody. Whoever finishes 20th.
Grothier would have been in the top 10.
Yeah,
sure.
Whoever finishes 20th probably wouldn't have made the race.
There's the helmet. That gives you an idea where we're going next week.
Yeah, beautiful helmet. Saw him struggling as he came out of the groove. He started in the left-hand spur, and I think Kim Ji-soo started in the right-hand one. Look at the little bits of tape there.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching. Good support out here. Save our track.
Yeah, absolutely right. Tape does not stick in minus umpteen where we are right now. So all the tape the holes the cushioning on the sled doesn't stick. 82nd World Cup starts now for Ander Mirambel, the 35-year-old from Spain. And he's already building a legacy. He's got a cadre of young sliders competing for Spain, learning the sport. He doesn't want to leave skeleton with nothing in his slipstream.
Well, he'll never leave the sport. He'll be an ambassador forever.
Well, that's his daytime job. He's an ambassador for Barcelona's other soccer team, Espanyol. And he also, as an ambassador, works with the Spanish national soccer team. So he's got an awful lot of that kind of in his normal day-to-day life. And he wants to make sure that there's something coming up for Spain as well.
Great form, but such a deficient start time on a track known more for its starts than anything else. This, Innsbruck, Winterberg, probably the 3 tracks that more of an emphasis on the start than any place else.
Well, he finished 23rd on Friday night. You're right, you know, he is still injured. He's pretty beat up, and so he's not starting quickly. His slight advantage here over 5 or 6 of the other sliders is that he was here on Friday night, so he's got a couple of extra runs.
See, when he got to the speed part of the track, he was 9400ths down. He brought it back to 76.
Yep.
So when he gets up to the speed, he gets, he's got the ability to produce the fast lines, but when you're that far back to start, it's impossible on this track.
But that might just be enough. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a long wait for a lot of these sliders.
There's a lot of people in this field.
See the snow starting to come down as well?
Yeah.
You know, again, when you start early, that might be a benefit in 20 more sleds' time.
If he knows anybody that can do a snow dance, I would do it right now.
Yeah.
Tap out of the straightaway. Here's the exit going uphill, that little section there where I talked about, you know, going uphill in a gravity sport, you can't make a mistake.
Third of 27 sliders in the final World Cup race of the season is Great Britain's Marcus White. Now, he's the best placed for the British sliders. This is only his 12th World Cup, so his first full season on the World Cup Tour. Finished 8th on Friday evening.
He could start the sled.
Yeah. This 27-year-old could really be a big prospect for the future.
493.
Wow, that's a big getaway.
Takes a little bit too much of that curve one. Saw a lot of issues there in the race on Friday and yesterday for the women. There was a lot of coming out of there and hitting the wall, which is a no-no.
Now, there was only 1 day on training because some of the sleds arrived so late, which meant the maximum training runs you could have was 3. A lot of sliders only took 2. Then they raced on Friday night, so 4 trips. So this is still behind where they would normally be. Normally they get 6 trips of practice before they started racing.
Yeah, they couldn't do this in Haltenberg or Lake Placid
Well,
or
they might.
Whistler. You know, when you need trips.
Yeah.
You know, here it's you know, it's a learner's track. It's very easy to get down, tough to get down fast, and you can't fall asleep in this track because, you know, we saw on Schleinisch from Germany on the outlet of Kreisel, probably one of the most spectacular video shots I've ever seen on the exit of Kreisel. The other night, and, you know, the track can make you
fell
complacent.
off the roof, basically.
So he's got a 4,800 lead.
Yep.
But, you know, he's got 900ths of it just from the start, so that's 27. So beyond his starting ability, he drove the best sled down the track, and this is a future star for British Skeleton right here. When you can start like he does, not expansion joint. Now watch different people. Some people's body will stay with the sled. Other people will bounce above the sled.
Yeah. You know, there's never a day I'm wishing I was a cameraman, and today's another one of those days I'm not wishing I'm a cameraman. Our Olympic champion, Sunmin of Korea, the only man who could overhaul Alexander Tretyakov to take the Crystal Globe. Last year, he was the World Cup champion and the Olympic champion. The 39th World Cup start for this 24-year-old Korean flyer.
94, 95, going off what Wyatt just did, 96. Well, Martin, he is a World Cup champion, he's an Olympic champion, and he's a legend in Korea, a legend in Asia.
And where did he start sliding?
Here.
Whistler.
Whistler. And
that's
here.
where we go for the World Champs, and that's one title he hasn't yet claimed.
Well, in his country and in Asia, he's the first Asian ever to medal in the sliding sports because he did that a week ahead of his teammate Wong, who did it four-man bobsledding with the silver. But he dominated that competition in Korea from the first day of practice. He didn't let anybody even come close to him.
Silver medalist on Friday night, and look at his form. He is like Iron Man flying, isn't he? Absolutely. If you hike
Has he touched the wall yet?
Not a touch.
Oh, he got
That's a
his
really
foot.
great run. Look at that, 6/10 up.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a statement run. 50,
He wants that
30.
Crystal Globe. All right, there, the chips are down for Alexander Tretyakov. That was a huge run from Yun.
But the track record's 55-31. That tells you how far away they are from the track record. Martin, that was a video game. He came right down the middle of the track.
Now, he and Richard Bromley have had 48 hours to think about what they needed for today. Look, he's in the right-hand groove, the left as we look at it, and that's a longer groove, but it spits the slider out less, I think, than the other side.
Well, he spit himself all the way down the track in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, he was not out of control any place.
All right, that is a statement of intent from Sunmin of Korea. Next up is Thomas Dukurs of Latvia. The Dukurs brothers, because Thomas was not in Lake Placid, now have exactly the same number of World Cup starts, 117 each. This is Thomas's 118th World Cup race.
Now he's chasing down
Marcus Wyatt, battle between him and Marcus,
So let's see.
Only 30 points
This
in
is another race within a race, so he's got to finish about 4 spots in front of Marcus.
Well, 30
Wyatt.
points, 18 and 18, 36. So yeah, maybe 3 spots ahead might be enough.
So his #1 target here, of course, is Young, but I'm sure they looked at the numbers like we have, and I don't see him getting into the World Cup position of last year, Mark.
Yeah.
He was
last
third
year.
in World Cup points.
Yeah, as he was a couple of seasons earlier. He's had a few Crystal Globes, silvers and bronzes. Thomas was 4th on Friday night. Marcus was 8th. If that is repeated,
Yeah,
he
he'll
will
get up.
just creep ahead.
And he missed last week's event in Lake Placid for the tap there.
Yeah.
First time he missed an event in like 12, 15 years.
Since December 2004.
Okay, that's 15 years.
I know.
Look at that, he lost a lot of time at the bottom, and he's only 200ths ahead of Marcus Wyatt.
All right. Well, that's not a 4. There's no 3 more sliders getting in those 200s.
Yeah. So that's going to be those two probably back-to-back in the
very
for
likely
their position.
So that'll be winner takes all, won't it?
Another
Between the two of
race
them.
within a race.
You know, for Marcus to finish ahead of Thomas Ducours or to finish in the top 6 in the World Cup in his first full season will be a massive achievement.
You can see he didn't bounce so high above the sled. The sled stayed with him. And this is the exit sliding. Remember, Yun, you just made that look so easy.
Yeah.
That tap there before the finish throws him in. See that tap there too? I mean, that throws you into the middle of the curve.
Not a bad line through 14, the final corner. Well, that stage, the speed had gone away. Summit Young leads, 5 down, 22 to go. World Cup finals in Calgary, Canada. Martin Haven and John Morgan watching Alexander Chechikov bidding to become the World Cup champion a decade on from the first and only time a Russian won the Crystal Globe. That was him.
493. That's the best, tied for the best start with Great Britain's Marcus Wyatt and Chechikov, who lit the track up the other night. Lit the track up in Lake Placid. He's lit the track up pretty much all year. And the Russians, Nikitina won the women's overall World Cup title yesterday. Russians are showing this is right down the middle of the track though with red numbers. 500s back. Skids there. Yun was video game perfect. Plus 8, that skid comes 5 more. He's late there. So this has got second place written all over it, which is good enough for Chechikov.
Yes, at the
1000s. So then, most likely, we're going to see those two in the last 2 of the race in the second heat for the World Cup title. And right now, I favor Chechikov because Yun's got to win. Chechikov's got to finish 5th.
Well, last year, Alex won 2 races. In the season in which he won the Crystal Globe, he only won 2 races. He's never won more than 2 in a year. He's already had 4 wins this season.
Remember, Yun Kim's out of Chrysler. Look at the form. He's on line, 6'3" frame, but he skids here. And that's where his time, he added to his time.
He knows that he wants to win. He is in probably the form of his career, but top 4 will do it. So next up, Nikita Chegibov, the 23-year-old junior Russian rocket. And Chegibov, an Olympic medalist a year ago, has... I'm not sure whether he's injured or how injured he is.
He's not what he used to be.
Something is missing at the start. He used to be the fastest starter.
Olympic silver medalist last year, sliding for United Russia.
His second World Cup start, 5:04.
He should be down 495, 496.
Yeah, should be a 10th faster.
The Russian camp must go find out, you know, and he's got 2 weeks now. You know, if he has a health issue, he's got 2 weeks to train it up because he needs a better start to compete at the level that he's competed on in the past year. He's got the 5th best start, he's sliding himself in the 4th position. Basically what he did the other night was 5th.
The 3 fastest starters have all gone off in 4:93. He went off in 5:04, so he's 1100s back basically to the field before he even gets on the sled.
Yeah, this looks like 4th.
3300s back, half second back. Yikes.
700s in front of Thomas Ducars. He brought it back in the bottom, though.
So
he was fourth until the last curve.
Chedibov, Ducars, and Marcus Wyatt. 3 sleds covered by 900ths of a second.
Then you got those other 2 guys on a different planet.
Yep. Still this little bit of snow falling.
Toe out there.
Yeah.
Toe it again. That's not great. Up and down there in the Omega. He disappeared in the Omega curve, and that too much steering. But something else is wrong with his bottom time performance.
Yeah. Next up for Austria, Florian Auer. Austria, the dominant force in men's skeleton in the early years of official skeleton sliding.
How many times did his father win the World Cup title?
5.
Only
5
5?
in 6 years, yeah. Only 5 in 6 years. Christian Auer, one of the legends of the Austrian sport. Florian, just 24 years old, finished in 16th place on Friday with no prior knowledge of the track. He came and raced here once, he said, in ICC, but that was on an Italian Huber sled, not on the Schneider sled he has now. So basically, it's a totally different sled. It makes it a totally different track.
Well, 9 people down, 8th best start. So he's sentenced to a double-digit position.
Yeah.
Pretty tough to drive yourself into a top 10 position when you have a start that's 30 minutes behind.
But he has now a couple of extra practice trips, if you like, for the race on Friday night. So a little bit more knowledge going into what he's doing on the sled.
This will go out to 80 probably at the next block.
It's not a bad looking line. I think the slide's got more.
That's not bad.
I think they got more control than they did in the sunshine on Friday afternoon, evening, because the track is so frosty. The runners are actually terrific.
Here he comes. He does well on the bottom when they get to the maximum speed. Good slider.
Yeah. Good
Gene
rider.
from his father. Oh, hits that expansion joint and almost stops it dead. Slides into 6th place.
Yeah, ahead of Jisoo Kim, who's got
Kevin Boyer
a
and
dozen
Maribel.
races on this track.
That's going to give him top 20.
Yeah.
Look at the 8th best start, 6th best finish. That's called talent driving. Oh, he looks Olympic.
Yeah, well, I was saying they got a lot of, probably a lot more grip, but it doesn't make the walls any softer. They're just so cold. Look, they're doing 75 miles an hour, basically in a bathing suit. It's minus 16 out. That's not to be recommended.
Commentator positions, much like, look at that, hits that expansion joint, it almost stops you. That is time.
Yeah.
That sled almost seems
Hallo,
like
hallo,
it comes to
daheim.
a stop.
Ich hoffe, jetzt habt ihr es ein bisschen wärmer.
What's that about the office?
Okay, Martins Ducurs of Latvia. Superman, 3rd place here on Friday night. Let's see if he's got a little more in his 118th World Cup race. The fast start is 4:93. Bingo, 4:95, 34 years old, keeping up with the 23 year
Now,
olds.
he's in a challenge to move up. We'll discuss this. He's in 4th place now, so basically it's him and Tregabov
Yep.
for a globe.
And again, the gap between them is relatively small, isn't it? Just 4 points. So it is literally whoever finishes in front gets to stand and collect the crystal globe, and the other one gets to watch.
If he gets this out, oh, he won't.
Oh, just avoided the wall.
Only one, that slate on the wall cost him. This will be red numbers, especially after that.
That was huge. Now, he made the similar mistake in the first heat on Friday
He let
night.
it go. 1800's back. Now he's fighting for 3rd.
That's
now
going to cost him 3/10 at least.
He's going to be ahead of Tregabov.
Oh, look at the face on the ice.
Whoa,
Third place.
barely ahead of Tregabov.
300ths of a second.
So him and Tregabov will go head-to-head in the 2nd run. They'll probably follow each other. You know, all 4 of these athletes got, so 4th place will go down, and then Ducars will come down and challenge him for the 3rd place in the Crystal Globe. Then Trechikov and Yun will go for the gold.
It's that exit. He's looking slightly perplexed because here, again on Friday night, he dropped out of sight late, and that means late height on the exit. And, you know, basically that's a 3-point landing, but
And that's
on the
at
nose.
75 miles an hour. bouncing around on that little tray with runners on it.
You don't see Martins Ducours make mistakes like that. And that's twice in 2 days or 3 days. Now then, here's our junior world champion, Felix Kaisinger from Koenigsegg, Bavaria, the 21-year-old's 4th World Cup start.
Let's talk about his Europa Cup starts and his ICC starts.
Oh yeah, ICC champion. He's had 16 ICC races in his life. He has never been off the podium. And you can see why. Look at it, Billy Whiz.
The drive, the quick turnover. Look at the start, 496. This is a rising star in the German program. He's already in the green.
Well, that's because he tied something in at the start.
This rising star. I don't think the Germans have had an athlete like this with this type of start.
He raced here in the Intercontinental Cup in November 2017, won both races. So he's only walked away from here with gold medals.
This is the first year after the Olympics. That's when you see the attrition of people retiring and the new people appear. Well, this is one of the new young guns of the sport. With that type of start time, Martin.
Yep. Head up though, you can see he's still not confident about where the lines are. He didn't race on Friday night, he wasn't originally in the Koenigsegg race. So he's had 3 trips in track and practice.
Still fine.
Do you know what? He is going to be...
He's only 100 out of Thomas Ducours.
Yeah, he's going to be...
800. He's 1100s back from Martins Ducours for 3rd. He's in the mix. He's 100th behind Thomas Ducours. He's 100th ahead of Marcus Wyatt.
Yeah.
Kessinger and Wyatt, 2 future stars in the sport. Because they can start.
Yeah. And he can
young.
Clearly drive.
How old is Marcus Wyatt?
27.
So he's a little older than Kessinger, who's... Look at that tape come off the sled there.
Yeah.
That's what that bump or that expansion joint. One more trip in this Arctic weather.
He could easily finish top 6 on any track in this World Cup.
Future star right there.
A real superstar. From Felix Kaisinger next to Axel Junk, and Axel's going to be looking in the rear-view mirror. He's only 6 years older than Kaisinger, but Kaisinger is coming up like a supercharged train behind him.
Axel's the top-ranked German in the World Cup standings with 5th. He's got 2 medals so far this year, a 2nd in Winterberg, a 3rd in Eagles.
40th World Cup start for him compared to the 4th for Kaisinger.
He gets good starts. I mean, the 6th best start.
Yeah, only 500 slower than his teammate, so he's right in the mix.
500 slower, though, on this track. There's a lot of emphasis on that first 50 meters.
Axel finished 7th on Friday night, so there's another little bonus card he's got over Kaisinger. He had 2 extra trips on Friday. When you've only done half a dozen trips down the track, another 2 is a huge percentage of learning.
Ooh, mistake there. Yeah. That really is going to cost him with his speed exit opportunity there. Does well, but mistake on the entrance to Kreisel on the takeout. He's way back in 8th place, and it's looking worse.
Going to be the top German at the end of this run. Kaisinger is 6th right now, and at the line 8th ahead of Florian Auer.
Just barely got ahead of Florian Auer. He's still a striking distance. Still only 1300s back of his teammate Felix Kaisinger.
So a little bit of a tidy up. He can turn that over.
Kreisel. Exit entrance take on to Kreisel. This is up top at 7. Sets himself up the crossover 7 to 8. But his mistakes down below. If they let this go down here, the hop, watch him start. There's some.
Yeah.
That's from a previous sled. Now look at the skid. Now if he keeps, they just fast forward this real quick, keep it going, you'll see the mistake he makes on the entrance.
Skids in, skids out. Twelve of our 27 sleds are down. And the leader is Sumbin Junger Korea from Alexander Chetikov and Martins Ducours. Top of the track, Calgary in Canada, as the snow starts to blow in with some wind behind it. 20-year-old Ukrainian slider Vladislav Heraskavich. Martin Haven and John Morgan watching the action in the men's skeleton World Cup final.
This will be the second worst start time of the event. There it is, 12 out of 14. So 5:32 gives up a huge amount of time. One thing we know about this young Ukrainian, he keeps the sled pretty straight in the track, uses his mass, and usually overcomes deficient start times on most tracks, but on this track it's very difficult.
And when you're a big unit like he is, the snow has slightly less effect.
Great lines.
Not too bad down the straight.
He's 5,800 back, 12th best start. He's now got it to 11.
123 is really big speed. On 16.5,
he keeps it clean. He couldn't get in the top 10, 59, now to 9. This is what he does. If he had a start time, he'd be way more competitive. He'll do better in Whistler next week. Bang! Fifth place. Take him. Wow. Hey, Dad, how do you like that?
Well, you know, the day is warming up a little. There's a tiny bit of sun coming onto the ice.
That's unbelievable what he just did.
Well,
he's ahead of Kessinger, but look at it. He's tied with Thomas Dukars.
Yeah.
Then 100th back is Kessinger. 200th back is Wyatt. He's in the mix.
Yep.
Big unit.
Yeah, he likes that slide. Look at his form. That's what he does. He keeps his form. He is fearless.
This is a big man on a small sled.
Yeah.
But look at he hit the expansion joint, and then he rammed the wall to cover the walls worse off.
Yeah.
Set yourself up nicely for that final.
Lots of noise at the top of the track now for Dave Kreshcheshin of Canada. Grizz, 39 years old, in his 45th World Cup. Top 6 finish on Friday night. To do that again here would just be a great way to end the weekend in Calgary.
How can you not like this guy? Just, older, doesn't get starts, one World Cup medal in his career. He's just out on the track, and if you talk to him, you think he was winning every race. He's so positive.
He is winning every day, isn't he?
Every day.
I want to say hi to wife Jess, and looking forward to seeing her and their new baby Aurelia when we get to Vancouver.
Little early crossover 6 to 7, see if it costs him at the exit 8.
Well, now, Mike Heraskavich, he's going to build speed all the way down the track using his mass.
Like 11th best start, 10th, but the Ukrainian, he found some kind of rocket speed down here.
Well, he had slightly fewer
Here
mistakes.
comes the Grizz. He's doing the same thing. See if he hits the expansion joint here in the outlet. Misses it.
Oh, nice run across the line! Fantastic stuff!
Wow!
Fantastic stuff! Oh my goodness!
He did not hit that expansion joint.
Oh my goodness!
Wow!
Wow, Grizz! Well, listen.
What's going on with the track?
He's a new dad. The World Cup. The world champs are in Vancouver. If this is going to be his last ever World Cup race, and it might be.
I thought that was a mistake, 6 to 7, but that might be the speed line. Look at his feet. Look at his feet. I mean, the guy's got speed, and now the exit, he's got to get a toe out. So I think that mistake, 6-7, this is all it cost him was there.
Wow.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching and supporting. Keep this track going. Beautiful weather out.
Well, this is almost high summer for Canadians, right? It's shorts weather. Great stuff, Grizz. Great stuff. Right, so some England leads from Alexander Tretyakov and Dave Kreshcheshin tied with Martin Dukars for 3rd. Come on, Canada. Come on, Great Britain as well. Jerry Rice now, the 28-year-old. Slightly disappointed, to say the least, I think, with 15th on Friday night.
17th.
493, look at that.
The British could start. Oh, but he drifted out of curve 1. Velocity, not bad. 17th in Placid, 15th here, so he hasn't done well in North America.
Yep.
Coming off 9th in Innsbruck, which was the best finish of his career.
Right, well, he's already dropped behind Sumin Junga Korea by 600 to the second.
It's not bad.
Yes. Flying down this track was just behind.
Still in the top half dozen. Now again, he is a big slider, so can he do what we've just seen from Heriskevich and Griskeshin, or has he not got enough confidence in his name to be able to find the speed?
Yeah.
8th place,
Head up.
Jerry Rice.
Head looked way up there. Does he hit the expansion joint? No, he gets under it.
And at the line, top 10.
That'll get him in the
right.
field. That'll put him in the field. You know, better than what he did the other night.
Yeah.
50
15th
more
the other
sliders
night, well,
might get him.
Yeah.
But he's in the field.
And again, the advantage of racing on Friday night, just a little bit more information going in.
3 athletes with 493 at the start. He's one of them.
Yeah.
Another, again, the British start the sleds. Once they start to figure out how to bring him down, watch the entry as he gets on the sled with his chest. Look at that. Jumps, launches himself like a great athlete onto that sled. And that tray. And look at the exit here. The bounce, the expansion joint. You see he pops off the sled. The sled didn't go up in the air.
Everyone.
Well, Jerry, with things to think about, 16th of 27 sliders. So 4 places left and 11 sleds trying to take them. Vladislav Marshenkov, the 22-year-old Russian. Again, look at the height of this guy. When he starts to pack on a bit of muscle, he is going to be absolutely huge.
Start time for him. Not there, 17th the other night.
Yeah, 14th World Cup race for him, still learning the business, 5:29 getaway.
But Martin, his best finish of the year on top 10 in Winterberg, 9th. Winterberg's the shortest track in the World Cup. And to have a deficient start time and finish 9th,
Yep.
that's a little perplexing, huh?
Again, big unit, lots of weight, and that means the snow is having slightly less effect. And actually, it's not a bad looking slide. Bit of knee steer there.
Yeah.
No speed, no.
Oh! Really trying to drag the sled off the wall. Had to have 2 bites of that. Jerry dropped out of sight. This is going to be painful. It is. Oh! Well, shoulders, back are going to take all the pounding there. I'm not sure that Marchenkov is going to make the cut today. Remember when he, look, he's ripped his I was going to say, remember when he came up to finish on Friday night, he ripped his vest on the wall?
He's not the only
Same
person
again.
that's ripped his vest on the wall.
And that shoulder's had enough punishment, thank you very much. Well, 15th now, 17th on Friday night. Only Ander Mirambel behind him, he is going to be in the danger zone. Just come down a second slower than Jerry Rice in front of him. Watch here, look, watch the hips and the legs both swing out to try and drag the sled away.
And it didn't
And
come
he
out of
has
there.
to do it again, look. And here, ow, 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 you know this is going to hurt.
Oh,
Oof.
little fire and ice. First one of the
Yeah,
day.
little
Won't be
bone
the
on
last.
ice there. Ow. Well, if his shoulder wasn't the colour of his race suit on Friday, it is now. '18th starter in our field at 27, USA's Greg West, the 33-year-old in his 18th World Cup race, finished 14th on Friday night after his season's best result of 8th place in Lake Placid a week earlier. That unique fingertip start.
Springfield, Missouri guy who's in a race within a race with his teammate Kyle Brown for the best World Cup finish in the season. Right now, the two of them are separated by 6 points. So it's a little mano-mano. Whoever beats whoever is the World Cup leader for the U.S.
He and his partner Leslie, who slides skeleton for Sweden, are just about to put money down on their first house together. So wait to see her maybe coming up into the World Cup in the next season.
13th best start. He's made 13th right now on the sprint.
Well, if he gets into top 12 or 13 on the first heat, he's definitely making the field. Little tap there. The first run on Friday was
Hasn't
cleaner.
really affected him. He's 13th all the way down. Lucky 13. Let's see what he does here to finish. See what he does with the expansion joint right here. He misses.
Behind the lead.
All right,
13th.
13th in the line. He was 14th on Friday. A little bit more knowledge going into the data banks. And John, the last World Cup race was 4 years ago here,
But
and
he's been
very few of the sliders have done much in between on this track. Again, look, His vest has been hauled off on the wall.
What's the last World Cup of the year? It'd be appropriate that they can take them all home, get them signed, frame them. Feet a little
So Greg
apart,
West, a very
head
nice
down,
game, yeah, just came out
down
of
the left
triangle
toe,
a little bit
and
too early, and then
Sparks,
hold on
no,
to
no
it.
Sparks.
Yeah, he could have done without that toe steer there, but he wasn't confident that the line was right.
Lines into
Well, he was
10.
certainly consistent all the way around.
Not too great.
It's the humidity that'll get you.
Yeah, we're all coughing because it's such a wet cold here. Well, you talked about Greg West versus Kyle Brown for the top American slider. Here is Kyle, the 29-year-old, his 14th World Cup start. Just missed the cut on Friday night in 21st place.
New Hampshire guy went to Springfield College. His teammate, Greg West, from Springfield, Missouri.
5:08, so he's already got 900s in hand over his teammate.
Bad drift there, but he had a disastrous run down the track in the first heat on Friday night, and something you wouldn't expect out of him. He's a pretty consistent slider, but he's, he has to finish ahead of Greg West to be the best American ranked in the World Cup season. Don't think that's not valuable.
11th at the start, 13th on the splits. It's nip and tuck between him and Greg West right now. Dropping down to 15th.
Pretty good exit there, though.
He's got to stop the rot because 15th will probably get him in the race. Any lower, and he's going to be in trouble.
Slipping away.
He's only got 2 men behind him, Marchenkov and Mirambel.
He finished 21st on Friday night.
And 16th, 2 behind him. That might be enough because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the remaining sliders didn't race on Friday. And a couple of them have got almost no experience of this track.
Well, you got Florian Thompson, 2, Yang 3.
Well, Florian Austin coming up next. He nearly made the top 10 on Friday night for the USA. So
yeah, I think he's in with that. This didn't help right here. See this drift? That's one of the drift out of that first curve, and then here, this is pretty good. And then maybe it's pretty good because of too much steering to get out of the exit of 8. But didn't touch here to the entrance when he goes by that shot.
Hey, Dad, happy birthday. Congrats, Colin and Danielle. Proud of you guys. See you later.
Lots going on at home when you're on the road. We know that feeling. So 3 US sliders in a row. 7th World Cup start for 20-year-old, 24-year-old Florian Austin. Florian started his World Cup campaign this season. Florian, I'm sorry. I've done that before, I'll probably do it again. Florian out, Austin Florian.
Because we got so many Florians on tour.
Didn't go to Sigulda, so he started his World Cup campaign in Winterberg in Germany.
Best of the American team at the start. Look at that 494.
Wow, that's
why the American
getaway.
team is so high on this guy, because he can start the sled. So this is one of those new guns we talk about. Comes out the year after the Olympics, the first year of the quad.
And he finished in 11th on Friday night.
Ooh, a little tap there before the take on the 5.
But still leading from Sauvignon Korea. And that's what that fast start has given him. Look at this.
Watch out for that, though. That's red numbers there.
All right.
Experience. Hey, still, top 7 or 8 run, Florian would take it in a hot heartbeat.
Little hit on the wall.
Clarkson University went to, which is about an hour from Lake Placid. He got hooked on the sport. Down to 9th already.
All right, needs to gather it all up together. 11th on Friday night and at the line, 12th place. How far behind Axel Juncker, Germany? A 10th.
Good result for this guy.
Yeah, kind of came unstitched a little below the Kreisel.
Martin, you know the emphasis I put on the start, especially on a track like this. If you can't start the sled on a track here, Innsbruck, Winterberg, you have no chance.
Well, he's had 4 races here in the North America's Cup, double silver medalist in November 2017, and then the World Cup on Friday night.
Great start. Now watch him get around curve 1, or they're going to show us that. That was an early exit, big skid, bang.
Really had to work hard.
That's worth 2 tenths right there.
Yeah. And that's where the speed goes away.
Hey, he'll figure it out. He's Clarkson University guy.
Hey, everybody. Everybody who's home sick, feel better.
What about us sick ones here? Austin Florian of the USA completes the top 20. Something in the career, the leader from Alexander Tretyakov. 7 sleds to go. Remaining 7 sleds in our World Cup final. It's go fast or go home time. Second World Cup start for 26-year-old Brit Craig Thompson made his debut in Lake Placid. Former soccer player. First started racing 3 years ago.
Start time. There's another young gun. Makes a mistake right out of the first curve, but hey, the emphasis on the start. This guy, 2 or 3 years from now, when he starts to figure out how to come down these ice canals.
Same intake as Marcus Wyatt.
Yeah, British.
So, yeah.
British got some athletes who could start the sleds. We just saw Austin Florian come down from the United States with a good start. These guys who've been winning all these events, Tretyakov, 2 cars, Young, they got great start times. It's hard to compete without a great start.
Mark Wood and Patrick Shannon, I'm sure, watching on again to see their young chargers, their former young chargers doing well.
This is great. Top
Thompson
8.
in the top 10.
Oh, that's going to hurt him right there.
Again, this is 2 different racetracks, John. Above the Kreisel and below the Kreisel.
That mistake.
4th into the Kreisel, 15th at the line.
Out of the 12th curve, he hit so hard on the takeout, he went from 8th to 15th.
Yep.
Lost 7 positions,
Yep.
which Martin, that's 30 hundredths he just lost there.
Yeah.
He was in 8th place, which is a 58. He ended up 48 hundredths lost from that point down. Half a second. Here's he's the best guy in the field. But down if they show us 11, 12, 13, where he hit hard, that's where he lost everything. Not here. Down 12, 13 is where he made his mistake.
Yeah. Well, little skiddy down the straight into the Kreisel.
No, this isn't it either. Where his mistake is down further, 13, he hits hard right there.
Yeah.
Then he comes over to the middle of the curve. He's got to steer 3 times. Lost a half second down on this easy part. Look how he goes out of sight.
Now track is clear for Yang Wengang.
So, 20 sleds, the field is full. Next up, Yang Wengang of China, the 21-year-old in only his 4th World Cup start. He's raced here in the Intercontinental Cup just once. Willie Snyder at the back. You saw Jeff Payne, the head coach of the Chinese team, looking over the wall.
Oh, he doesn't get around curve 1 without an abrupt steer.
Gong Chang raced on Friday night because he was originally doing the first half of the season, and that included Koenigsegg.
Tap there.
And we will see our first ever female Chinese skeleton athlete in the World Championships.
China. Full complement of bobsled. 2 women, 2 2-mans, 2 4-mans. 5400s back, 15. He's gone from 15 start to 17, back to 15.
Right, and this is going to put Ander Mirambel out of the race. Jan is going to be in, and Mirambel is going to be out unless he commits a cargo
Down to
sin.
14.
He's moving up.
Made a mistake there, 16 probably. And he hits the expansion joint, 12.
That's a great run.
Wow, Jeff Payne is doing something with these young Chinese athletes. Payne from Calgary. Payne, who won the silver medal at the 2006 Winter Olympics. A spectacular run where he was upside down near the finish. Still finished on the podium.
Twice a World Cup champion as well, Jeff Payne.
How many times did he win on this track?
Yeah.
Ooh, little expansion joint, normal.
Yeah, just rides
Under
it out.
control. Hey, he was fast on the bottom.
Yes, he was.
He had it up to 17th, and then he brought it all the way back to 12th.
They
This
have
didn't
got
help
2
there.
good young
I thought that was
sliders.
really going to hurt him, so he goes up high. Now watch him come down, has to go down low, and he has to go back up. Centrifugal force.
Right, so he's in the race in his 4th World Cup start, and Ander Mirambel is out. Next up, Ronald Arderset finished 19th on Friday night. 28-year-old from Switzerland. He's in his 33rd World Cup race. See the coach there keeping the sled moving so the runners don't get sticky.
So it's a decent start.
If he's sub-5, he's got a chance of making the race. 5.06. Well, we've just seen a 5.12 start from Yan of China come down in 12th position, so it is possible.
Yeah, well, now we get tapped the wall out of curve 1. That is going on anchor out. to 13.
All right, right now, he's driving himself into the field at the expense of Vladislav Marchenkov of Russia. We saw Marchenkov's run, didn't really think that was going to get him in. It was pretty bruising.
14th, a lot of scratching there.
Yeah, that's his face right down, the helmet dragging on the ice. That's what's giving half these sliders a bloody nose. Again, face
16.
right down on the ice.
60, can't tap here. He doesn't. Can he get out of the finish curve without hitting this? Yes, he touched it. 18, I don't know.
He got punched in the face by the track there, 57-49 for Puckham's coach.
Best finish of the year, 15th in San Moritz. He was also 15th at the opener in Sigulda.
Yeah.
So there's
18th here. What was he? 19th on Friday night.
I tell you, the tap out of curve 1 is sentencing you to a bad time. Can't do that. Right here, watch this drift to the left. Try to steer too much, bang. That is worth 20 hundredths. The rest of the ride down the track wasn't bad. That 20 hundredths better would have put him up in 15th place.
And he has to correct himself through
Cold run?
Yeah, cold and sore. Alex Hansen of Norway, 16th World Cup start for the 31-year-old from Stavanger, now from Calgary.
Looks Norwegian.
Yeah, he does. He does. He is the full-on Viking, isn't he? 22nd on Friday night. Kristen Bromley, the coach there. Now let's see if Kristen's expertise can help him make the field.
Well, Alex, I think, was in better shape last year. Whoa, what happened there? We didn't see those start times on Friday night. I was just about to say he's not in the shape he was last year. He's not getting good starts, but what did he do between Friday night and Sunday?
I'm not sure.
I'll have to ask him.
Whatever he did, I want 2 of them.
Yeah.
Second fastest start. 5 people now started 493. We had one 489, which is our quickest getaway.
Well, he's going to lose time all the way down here.
Just having trouble.
2600s, 12th place now. Can he get out of here without touching? Yeah, not bad. Late here, though, which is going to be late next 3 corners. 79, he's 19th. He's sliding himself out of the race.
Second fastest start without the line. Is he in or is he out? It's him or Kyle Brown, and he's out. Kyle Brown is in. Alex Hansen just misses the cut.
Wow, with that type of start time, we thought he was going to lock himself into about at least 14 or 15, and just didn't see any huge mistakes all the way down, but obviously
it's an accumulation of the little bits, isn't it? Yeah.
There's a lot of people would pay a lot of money to have that type of start.
Yeah.
Will be eliminated.
You know,
And that type of
and
hair,
the athleticism.
in fairness.
But, you know, there's got to be a way to teach him how to improve with that start.
What does any coach say? Give me a starter and I'll teach them how to slide.
Hey, Mom, let's go down there.
That's the way they want it. That's the way they want it. They want a fast starter, and then, I mean, look at Tretyakov.
Yeah.
You know, it took him 4 years to really learn how to handle that speed. Okay, 4 sleds to go. Next up, Nick Timmings of Australia. Raced in Lake Placid, his first World Cup in nearly 2 seasons. 28-year-old from Western Australia in his 9th World Cup start. Did not race on Friday night.
Just missed the Carton Lake Classic, 21st.
He and brother Dean have done about half a season each. Recently funded out of the family finances, 5:16 getaway.
Late on curve 1, he hits the other wall, which no one else has hit, so I always like to do what no one else does, but that's not one of them.
Nice straight run down the first of the straights here. I mean, Calgary's an interesting track, isn't it? With these long straights between corners.
Yeah, this is a track built in the mid-80s with the long bobsled straightaways.
Through this Omega Series a little early, out of
Right.
8th.
18th at the start, but drifting out to 23rd at the moment. Oh, and a little heavy hit.
Wonder which brother we're going to see at the World Championships.
Well, Dean's not here. He's back in Australia, so I think it's only going to be Nick.
Dean could show up. We wouldn't know if it was Nick or Dean.
There is that. Nick Timmings at the line, 24th, doesn't make the cut. Well, 18th fastest start, but it corner 1 to 2 and 2 to 3.
Better start than he used to get. But of course, that mistake out of curve 1, he hit the opposite wall that anybody else has hit. So he got double crossed. Here's the start. Katie's on the right groove. Now watch him go into the take-on of the curve. He gets over too early. See that? He tries to get over there and hits, and now he's in the middle of the curve, forced to get out, tries to correct again. Now he overcorrected there, hit 2 walls before he got to curve 2. That I think was the sentencing of him not to make the second run.
Yeah, that took the sting out of his start, didn't it?
The rest of the way down wasn't bad. You okay?
Timmings.
And track is set
We'll watch the next heat. Sumbin the leader, and 3 sleds to go. There are the snipers. Joe Cicchini, the Calgary cop, has started a young sliders club here in Calgary. He and there's his teammate, former Canadian slider, are both starting to develop these young sliders just for fun. And that's where they get the bug. Joe in his 26th World Cup start, not fit, so 5:20 getaway. Here, Michaela Widmer, like Anna Mirambel, trying to encourage young sliders, so they need this track to stay open as well.
Well, he's gone from the 21st to the 20th in his position. He's going to need to pick it up.
If there's one thing he has in his favour, this is his home ice. He didn't race on Friday night. He wasn't originally in the European races.
He's got it to 19.
Driving himself into the race.
Clean down here. It'll put him in the race.
Come on, Joe. He knows this track well enough. He knows he can do it. He's producing it in the run.
He's going to be in the race.
Could be top 15.
He's finding speed on the wrong side of the curve. Watch out here on the outlet.
That'll do it. He's across the line in 15th place. He's in the race. There's Michaela Widmer on the right. Fellow sniper coach. So all the young sliders are here to watch their first World Cup race because none of them knew about Skeleton 4 years ago.
There's some home track advantage right there, starting 21st, finishing 15th.
And their coach, their inspiration, gets into the race. Nice stuff, Joe Cicchini.
Well, watching where you get on the curve is called the take-on. So he quietly gets to the but he hits before the take-on.
It's that right groove. It's just meandering you across there to the left-hand side.
That's where you got to use that shoulder steer to stay away from that.
But again, he didn't race on Friday, so he's not necessarily aware of that.
He's been down the track a few times.
Yes, he has.
Track is clear for Kyle Murray.
Thanks, snipers. Hey, Mom.
Nice work, Joe. Oh, hi to Fruitvale, British Columbia. We'll be flying over you on the way to Vancouver. 2 to go. Kyle Murray next up, the 29-year-old Canadian World Cup rookie, his second World Cup start. 400-meter runner and stand-up comedian. So a double masochist, clearly. 5'11", that's a good getaway. Started sliding only 3 years ago here in Calgary. This is his home track.
It's the first time we've seen him this year.
Yeah, he started in, where did he start? Lake Placid? Lake Placid. His second World Cup race. And never slid in the World Cup outside of North America. 3300's back. He's in the top 15. Kyle Murray in his second World Cup start is going to make the race.
Yeah, he got 23rd.
At the expense of his teammate Kevin Boyer. If Murray is in, Boyer is out, but that's a little ragged for Murray. Ooh, that might cost him 16th at the moment. 22nd, he's out of the race.
Could have hoped he tied Kevin Boyer. We'd have 21 sleds in the race.
That one error might be enough to put him out of the race. 20
that expansion
seconds.
joint.
Oh, that's rough. One error. Yeah. Well, he was in, and that's how tight this track is. One missed steer, and that's enough to drop him out of the race. 16th to 22nd. So Kevin Boyer hangs on. Kyle Brown of the USA is out. Kyle Murray is out. Alex Hansen. Ooh, hits going into Kreisel. Early pressure.
Might have been looking at that Canadian flag.
And then late pressure
Struggling here.
sends him back up. It's the hit going in that causes all the damage. Yeah.
Something came off the sled tape.
Bit more frozen tape.
That was a little rough on the finish, too.
Yeah. All right, well, Kyle's got lots of time on his side. So too has Mihai Pakianu of Romania, the 20-year-old. His third ever World Cup start. 20 on Wednesday, John. Oh. So that's how young this kid is.
Dukar started sliding probably before he was born.
5:20, yes, he absolutely did.
That mistake, exit of one from the young 20-year-old.
So Pakianu in track of
Let's see what Mihai can do. 22nd fastest start. Not a whole lot of experience on this track, though.
Ooh, watch out. Late here next to the base.
Now, really, this is a warm-up just to get him a bit more ice time before going to the World Championships. And the Romanians will have a good women's bobsleigh team going to the World Championships, as well as Mihai in the skeleton. But he's not going to make the cut here. And at the line, 27th of our 27 sliders. Well, again, didn't race Friday night. Did race Friday night, 24th in the field. So he's had 5 trips down the track. Now make that 6.
Well, that completes the run.
That make that 5, because he didn't get a second heat on Friday either.
Ooh.
And again, it's that impact as the head goes down and the helmet gets banged up by the track, punches you in the nose. So if it wasn't cold enough, if the walls weren't rough enough, you have to go around with Mike Tyson on the track as well.
Well, it's an easy track to get down.
It's a painful track to get down. That much has been evident all week. Wild ride from Mihai, and he completes our first of 2 heats in the men's skeleton World Cup finals. At the top of the pile is last year's World Cup champion, the man who is still vying to take a 2nd consecutive Crystal Globe. It is again the battle of Olympic champions. Alexander Tretyakov is in 2nd place, but Sunbin of Korea is our race leader. So he will go last and defend a 10th of a second advantage over Alexander Tretyakov. Dave Kreshcheshin and Martin Stukurs tied for 3rd, narrowly ahead of Nikita Chegabov, and Thomas Stukurs tied for 6th with Vladislav Heriskevich, 100th ahead of the junior world champion, 100th ahead of Marcus Wyatt. Kevin Boyer clings on by his fingernails to make the field, and out of the top 20 are Kyles, Brown and Murray, Alex Hansen, Marchenkov, Mirambel, Timmings, Pakianu, and Christopher Grote here did not start today. Well, you can find out who comes out on top, who wins the race, who wins the Crystal Globe, when the athletes are back on ice. We start at 10:15 local, 17:15 at Greenwich Mean Time. Wherever you are, join John Morgan, me, Martin Haven, and the IBSF TV crew for the final run of the World Cup season.